Title: We're cutting you from the will, my parents announced at Thanksgiving dinner. Your brother deserves everything. My wife squeezed his hand under the table. Later, she said, I want a divorce and the kids hate you anyway. They gave me until midnight to leave the house. Start: The smell of turkey, candles, cinnamon rolls cooling on the counter, everyone pretending to be a family, until the knives came out. My father lifted his glass, cleared his throat, and said it like he was announcing a promotion. We're cutting you from the will. Your brother deserves everything. The room froze. My brother smirked. My wife's hand slid across the table and landed on his. She squeezed. Slow, intimate, deliberate. I watched, silent. My blood burned, but my face stayed still. Later that night, she cornered me in the kitchen, her voice cold, rehearsed. I want a divorce. The kids hate you anyway. They'll stay with me. She gave me until midnight to pack and leave my own house. My brother's laughter echoed from the living room. My parents clinked glasses with him like nothing was wrong. I left, but I didn't break. On the drive, their phones began to buzz, and by the time I hit the highway, my father had called me 13 times, panic in every ring. Because by then, it had already started. I used to believe in family, that loyalty was blood deep, unshakable. I was the one who stayed behind, who helped my father rebuild after his heart attack, who carried him upstairs when his legs gave out, who fixed the roof, patched the walls, kept the farm alive when no one else would lift a finger. My brother? He disappeared to Vegas with every dollar he could borrow. He came back only when broke, when he needed bailing out. And my wife? I thought she was my anchor. She whispered promises into my ear at night, told me she loved me, that we were a team. She played the perfect part until the curtain dropped at that dinner table. Their betrayal wasn't sudden. It was staged, planned, practiced. I was just the fool who didn't see the rehearsals. The signs were there. The late-night business meetings my wife had with my brother. The way my parents always asked him to carve the turkey, sit at the head, tell the stories that used to be mine. One night, weeks before Thanksgiving, I walked in on them, my wife and my brother, not kissing, worse, sharing papers, bank documents, signatures forged, my name erased. They looked up at me, startled, but she laughed it off. It's just estate planning. Your parents wanted him to handle it. I knew then. They weren't just cutting me out emotionally. They were cutting me out of everything. Pain shifted into clarity, and clarity into something sharper. I didn't rage. I didn't scream. I started building. Step 1, information. I mirrored my father's emails, pulled my mother's call logs, traced every transfer my brother made. He had debts scattered across 3 states, men who would happily bleed him dry if they knew where to look. Step 2, leverage. I installed a keystroke logger on my wife's laptop. Every password, every message, every secret, mine. Screenshots of her chats with my brother, planning their future together, planning to destroy me.
Step 3, timing. I waited until Thanksgiving because I knew they'd want a stage. Betrayal tastes sweeter when it's public, but revenge? Revenge demands an audience. When my father raised his glass and cut me from the will, I smiled, because I knew the ink was already dry on a very different set of papers. I had filed for divorce quietly. I had every proof of her adultery, every forged document she and my brother had signed. My lawyer was primed, the judge sympathetic. By morning, custody and the house would be mine, by law. As for the will, my parents didn't know I had persuaded them, weeks ago, to sign a review copy of their estate plan. They thought it was a draft. It wasn't. It was the official filing. Their fortune, property, savings, assets had already been shifted into a trust with me as sole executor. And my brother? Remember those debts? I sent his creditors a gift basket of information. His new address, his bank details, and his shiny new car bought with my parents' money. By the time I reached the highway, their phones lit up. My wife's accounts? Frozen. My brother's credit cards? Declined. My parents' lawyer? Calling, furious. My father's name appeared on my screen 13 times before I blocked it. panic in his voicemails, begging me to explain, to undo what was already locked in motion. At dawn, my wife came home to movers emptying her house. At noon, my brother found 2 men waiting at his hotel, holding contracts with his signature on them. By evening, my parents were meeting with a lawyer who told them they'd signed everything over to me, irrevocable. The empire they built to hand to their golden child was mine. They thought they could erase me with one toast at Thanksgiving. They thought I'd walk away quietly, broken, humiliated. But they forgot who I am. I don't raise my voice. I don't throw plates. I don't beg. I build. I wait. I strike once. And when I strike, it's final. So yes, they cut me from the will. They cut me from their family. But in the end, I cut deeper. And as I stood in my quiet house, my children sleeping upstairs, safe, mine untouched, I finally allowed myself a smile. Because justice, unlike betrayal, is permanent.